Hi cuties! So today we're doing something a little different, a little scary, while combining it with talking about the books I read last month, because I found I really hate editing those videos of me just talking and talking, and then it takes me over a month to get one done. We're doing something different today. Many moons ago, I bought a paint by numbers set. I am not an artist. I did not get that gene. My mother is an artist. You should see some of her artwork. It's amazing. Emily, my sister who you met, she took all that for herself. When Jesus was handing out like whatever talents we were all gonna have, and it's like, all right, you can take like 5, you know, dexterity and 5 artistic or whatever, or you can take like a couple of each of those. My sister just went all artistic and took it. And so I was left with, well, what you see. Not a lot of options, especially when you have 2 older sisters that are like, I'm gonna take all the good grades. I'm gonna take all the artistic. Oh, look at that, you know, romantic life. And then I'm here with like unhealthy obsession with dogs. And books. And books. So there you go. There's you. Anyway, so we're gonna try to be artistic. It's probably going to fail horribly because while this canvas is currently flipped upside down, I had to unroll it a little bit, and from the tiny bit I saw, I shrieked and was scared and had to go to the bathroom. We're going to do that while talking about books. I haven't actually opened my set yet. Oh, there's the picture. I can't believe I was that ambitious to pick this photo. I'm gonna put it on this camera. You can see this is what we're going for. I went with a little bit of Japan in mind, and I'm gonna hang it on my wall if it doesn't suck. If it sucks, we're gonna go burn it. Anyway, holy crap, how many freaking colors. And they give you a little pack to frame it. I feel like that's the part I can figure out, because I do carpentry now. There's what I took from Jesus. I took 3 tokens for carpentry. I think you're supposed to do this like 1 color at a time, maybe? Although that doesn't seem right, because Mom said start with your lights, and number 1 is this red. So
it doesn't tell you which one. You always start with the lightest
color.
But
yeah, because it's in a row.
Mistake.
I don't know.
That's just the numbers for where they are.
Oh, I need a cup of water. Oh, look at that. That was magic. Magic. Accio water. This is just the foam thing it was wrapped up in, and now it's a weapon. This is the only thing I care about. No, it's mine. I bought it. It's mine.
You don't need a distraction.
You can't take it from me. This is when I up and I can go like this.
All right. And like if you get too much.
Oh my gosh, see, this is why you're the artist, and I would have just been doing it on my jeans. So they gave me 3 brushes, 2, I don't know if there's, I think this one's the teeniest, and then this one's danger. I don't think I'm allowed to use this at all during this process, because I will just go boom, 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 boom all over. So that one's getting set aside. We're gonna flip this now, and I'm gonna scream, because I have not seen the whole thing. I am super scared. Here we go. What the hell? I need a magnifying glass.
I know you do.
Holy crap. Sure, this will be relaxing. Maybe I should just go like in sections? I don't even know. What? Mommy, I help. Look how tiny all the little holes
Well, you know how your hands work and you're a lefty?
I'm a lefty, so I should start up here.
You don't want to put your hand on it. Anything.
Well, that's why I'm like, I should start up here.
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
Go like
because it's really not gonna matter. It's perfect. Water sit.
I got stand for this nonsense. Just start with this teeny tiny little.
Always.
What is that? 21 is this little light blue. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, okay. Oh, we're gonna do our first one.
Hey, wait.
What?
Taff. They're just readers. See if it helps. I gotta clean them off.
Oh yeah, they're super dirty.
Are you relaxed?
Totally, I feel great. All right, let's start talking about books to calm me down.
Number 1 is What the Night Sings.
What the Night Sings. This is a Holocaust book, but it's an interesting perspective because it is a book that takes place right in the beginning when a camp, which I forgot the name, which camp she was at, is being freed. So it's kind of more the story of the aftermath of what it's like for a young Jewish girl who used to be a singer. She was going to be an opera singer, and what it's like getting her life back together, kind of finding some romance, and trying to sing, because she can't sing anymore because of all the horror that she went through. And it's a bit of psychological stuff to heal herself. And it was a very, very beautiful story. I read this on audiobook. It was so good because it incorporated her violin or her viola, which her dad played, and then her dad like almost immediately gets killed because he gets hurt. And we know how the Nazis were in those days. And nowadays, so she holds on to his viola the entire time, which I'm like, how is that even possible? I don't know. But she did, and she kept it the whole time. And so every little chapter interlude has viola playing, and then the voice actress actually does the singing part of it, and that was really good and really cool and warmed my heart because I am a singer, you know. Anything that deals with opera is gonna really tickle my bones. I don't know what that means. I'm doing a really tiny part right now. What is happening? I feel like I've already started this wrong. Yeah, paint by numbers, what the hell is wrong with you? I thought about getting another one where they're like, you can upload a photo of your dogs and then they'll make a paint by numbers for your dogs.
Honey.
And I was like, I should have done that. But I don't think I'm ever doing this again. Next color. And,
yes.
And next book.
Next book.
Next book
is Princess in the Spotlight.
Princess in the Spotlight by Meg Cabot. Book 2 of the Princess Diaries. I also read it on audiobook. It was also narrated by Anne Hathaway. And this one was, I don't know, it was okay. It wasn't great. Still hate Grandma. She's awful in the books. You don't even understand. She's terrible. I honestly don't remember too much of the plot in this one. This is the one where she does some interviews and it backfires on her, as everything does. For Mia Thermopolis Ronaldo. And this is kind of where she's kind of coming to terms with the fact that she has a huge crush on Michael Moskovitz. It was just a lot of basic little drama that they didn't really include in the movies because it honestly wasn't that important of a book. And I think they're such short books. They're all like 5 hours. Which is why I was like, oh, I'll get through all these real quick. And I did read the 3rd one in this month, but we're not there yet. Everything is a mess. Everything is a mess. Everything is a mess. Everything I do is messed up and wrong. Everything I do looks awful. Theme song.
So is your plan to get this done today?
That originally, yeah.
I don't think
That
so.
might change. What's my next book?
Was it number 3?
I did Princess in the Spotlight.
All the Birds in the Sky
By Charlie Jane Anders! I met her! Here's a picture of me with her because I met her and she's cool and awesome and adorable. The premise of this book is a witch and a mad scientist are best friends. There you go. So much more because it touches on like childhood friendships and how they grow or break away and coming back, and you know who the people in your life are, the ones who actually understand you. It deals with a little girl who has like a perfect sister twin. She's a bitch. Her friend, he's really into science and computers and stuff, And he makes a little like 2-second time machine watch. It's really cool. He gets shipped off to like a military school, and she runs away to go to a magic school. But the story doesn't take place in either of the places, because she does help him get out of military school because he doesn't want to be there. He takes refuge with his scientist friends. Watching them grow up, go apart, come back together in their 2 very different lives, and the world is gonna end. That's the thing. It deals with like how pollution is killing us, global warming, everything is going to destroy the world. And there's like a machine that they're trying to use to get off planet, but that machine might end up backfiring. So it's witches versus scientists. You have the 2 of these in a very Crowley and Aziraphale situation where they gotta work together to fix the problem. It's cool and cute. And I really loved it. It was so good. And I have her other book that I wanna read. But I have so many books, as you guys know, because the answer to the question was 587. That's how many books currently on that shelf. I'd say about 50 of those are ones that I have read. Because I don't keep the ones, you guys know. I don't keep the ones I don't like.
Escape from the Isle of the Lost.
Oh, the Final Descendants book by Melissa De La Cruz. I read the other ones, as you guys know. They disappointed me. This one was no different.
Even more of a disappointment.
Yeah, because it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have any continuity with the show that you claim we have to pay attention to. So it's so frustrating. It's a prequel to the 3rd Descendants, but look at that. Uma already found a way back into the island, and yet in the movie she hasn't found a way back into the Isle. So the hell. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm probably gonna sell these all back. If any of you guys are artists, which I know some of you are because I have received very nice artwork from some of you. I mean, everyone who's submitted artwork to me has been amazing. That's what I mean by that. Not all of you have submitted is what I'm talking about. Please don't judge me on my technique or anything. This is literally the first time I've tried painting since elementary school.
Let's move on to another book.
Okay.
The Thief.
The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner, which apparently is a very old book, and I did not know this. It was okay. I thought this is apparently this is like almost a middle grade novel, or it is YA. I can't remember, because they never mention the main character's age, but I saw the old cover for it and it looks very middle grade. But the guy who narrates it sounds like he's 45. And so it really took away from him being young. It just didn't mesh with my imagination for the book. I really don't remember the beginning of it because it didn't actually get my attention until the end. Although, one of the... Wow. Wow.
Nobody.
Let's
get her spoofy on.
Lucy, come here. Come back here. Come here. Need licking.
Okay. And she does.
My dog speaks English. Thank you.
Don't worry. We got it under control. It's all right.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the thief. So the thief, there is a character. I suddenly can't remember his name. It starts with an S. That was freaking adorable, and I wanted to protect him forever. And I got really scared that he was gonna die at a couple points, because that would have been like a cheap way to make our main character feel something for someone else. I think he's actually not in the next books, because then I saw that she just was talking about releasing the next book in the series after such a long hiatus or something. It's gonna bring that character back. I will say, it did have a good twist ending. Like I didn't see that coming. It's called The Queen's Thief. Like, well, it's called The Thief, but the series is called The Queen's Thief. And since they were going to steal this stuff from a queen, I thought, oh, he's gonna, you know, betray them. Yeah, that's still 6. And work for that queen, or he already was working for that queen, but that was not the twist. It was a whole other twist.
Which one did you do?
I just did the thief.
Illuminate.
Illuminate! Okay.
I said it right.
Hold on. Like, Illuminate by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I read the entire Illuminate trilogy, but we're just gonna treat them book by book because each one is so different. And oh my God, I can't believe I put off reading this book for so long because it's amazing, guys. If you have not read Illuminate, go read it now. Don't read it on audiobook. Read it as a physical book because it's kind of mixed mediums, because it does pictography, it has data files, it has transcriptions, it has this whole smorgasbord of different ways of showing you the story, and it's amazing. And I love the AI. I think throughout the entire series, the AI is my favorite character, which is kind of funny to say given what the AI does and the horrible crimes it commits, but I still really enjoy reading the AI. But there's all these cool things, and the first one, because they're in space, it's a sci-fi book, it like follows the trail of how a ship is moving, and the text follows that movement kind of thing, and it's very awesome and cool and different, and I loved it. And even though it's like a super long book, I read it really fast because you have all those different ways of telling the story. It's so cool. Cooties, please go read Illuminate and talk with me about it. It's such a good book. Like, okay, it starts out with, so they live on this illegal settlement in a planet, and the girl, Katie, just broke up with her boyfriend, and then the whole planet goes to hell. And now they're survivors on this ship. It's shenanigans. It has a little of everything. It has a suspense, it has a horror element, it has your sci-fi, it has your romance, it has everything. It has really good comedy. Oh my God. Lockwood Co.
The Screaming Staircase
by Jonathan Stroud. This I read on audiobook. I thought it was a trilogy series. Apparently there's books 4 and 5, but my Libby app does not have them for my library, and I'm very annoyed by that because I want to finish the series. It was a slow start for me, but it was still good because it did a little bit of back and forth of Lucy's story of how she had gotten a job with Lockwood Co, which is a kid-run paranormal investigation society. But the thing is, the problem has started, and that's all these ghosts keep coming back, and there's different forms of them, and so now, and only kids can really see them, so the whole world has basically gone to hell, and they have all these agencies that send kids out to go find and destroy the spirits. So that's their job, and usually there's like an adult with them, but Lockwood Co is special. So it's only run by the 3 main characters of Lockwood, George, and Lucy, and George gets the short stick, okay? I don't really appreciate the fat jokes at his expense. The way that the voice actress changes how she makes him sound. He ends up sounding like this bumbling idiot when he's super smart. And sure, he likes to eat, but who doesn't, okay? It's food. You need it to survive. I really did like Lucy. I thought she was a very unique character. I liked how her narrative went and how she's a listener, so she can hear really well. So Gemini. So a lot of people were like, I like this one less than Illuminate. I didn't. I liked it more because it dealt with very different characters. But you have a rich girl who's like the captain's daughter, and then the son of a mafia leader. And this one, you get to deal with aliens and kind of a die-hard situation, which I freaking love. The main character, she's like a martial arts expert because that's what she does on this, it's on a space station now, because the other crew from Illuminate is headed to this space station. The bad guys are trying to eliminate this station, or not eliminate, just eliminate people on it so that they can use it for what they want. But it's really, really, really good, and it deals with what's the word I want to think? Alternate realities? Kind of. It's so cool. Hi. We've had a brief interlude because the camera ran out of battery, and so we put my hair up and had lunch. Welcome back to my painting failures, brought to you by Paint by Number, not actually sponsored. Last talked about Gemina.
So the next one
is The Whispering Skull.
That is correct.
Correct. Also by Jonathan Stroud. It's the second book in Lockwood Co. This one I did not enjoy as much. I don't know, it just didn't hold my attention as much as the first one did. Again, until the very end. It just had a weak opening for me. George really was my favorite character in this one. I did enjoy this one, but not as much as number 1, and definitely not as much as number 3. So it kind of suffered from sequel syndrome. Well, the next book I read was Obsidio from the Illuminate files, and oh my god, I was scared going into it. I was thinking I wasn't gonna like this as much as I liked the other two. I really liked this. It brought all the stories together, as well as introducing new characters with, again, very different personalities and different story. So we go back to Carenza, which is the mining colony that was illegal. We're back there with the people that survived the initial attack, but are being held hostage basically by the evil corporation that's there. There's a reuniting of people who used to date, but then were separated. And there's a lot of drama and backstory and hiding of children in vents and secret rebellions. It gave you a look into the other side of the story and showing you that, you know, it's not black and white. Even the people on the wrong side are people. And I like that each one has their own kind of thing. So like in the first one, it's a lot of letters and emails as the main means of communication and the main means of storytelling. And in the second one, there's a lot more comics in it because the main girl has a diary that she keeps, but she draws pictures more than writes words. So that's really cool. And then in this one, there are like these video diaries that our main character makes for her cousin, who she thinks is either dead or they did get off and made it off of the planet and doesn't realize that they're coming right back. It's really cool how that happens and how it all comes together, and it's so complicated. And next book was The Hollow Boy, which is third book in Lockwood Co. This one started rough for me, ended really strong, and made me go, okay, I'm not giving up on this series. I want to read this series. This one had a bit of catfightiness and girl versus girl, because they hire a secretary, and while Lucy's got granted, she has kind of a reason to be pissed about them doing this, because she goes on a little tiny vacation back home to visit her family, and they have hired another girl while they're gone, and they're loving it. And the way that they did her interview was completely different from how her interview went, because she's all pretty and perfect, la la la. And so there's a bit of, you know, girl hate going on, because the other new girl also is not great and feels intimidated by Lucy. And so it's just this constant little battle between them. And I'm not really here for that. I didn't really like it. A lot of the times I thought it was a bit much. But by the end, because Lucy's also going through something else entirely, and she's arguing with Lockwood, and Lockwood's a freaking imbecile, not understanding why Lucy is so mad at him all the time, because he's not treating her the way she wants to be treated, and all that other fun stuff. In the end, it's a good cliffhanger, and I really enjoyed it. But now Libby doesn't have the next one or the fifth one, and I need to know what's happening. And again, I feel like the voice actress kept changing for the books too. But by the end of it, I'd be like, oh, okay, no, it's the same one. Kept getting like higher pitched, and that was a little annoying for that.
Again, but better, by
Christine Riccio?
Yes.
Riccio, I think that's how you pronounce the last name. Christine is actually a booktuber. I'm sure if you're watching me, you probably already have heard of her because she's huge. But it's Poland Bananas Books, I think is her screen name. I actually hadn't watched her before reading this book, so I didn't have the same comments as other people did. It was good, but I got a little tired of the constant need to remind you how awkward and nerdy the main character is, Shane. Remind you that, oh, she's a nerd, she's not like other girls, she likes the Beatles. And because I read a comment from other people talking about this, and when I first listened to it, because I did it on audiobook, I thought it was sarcasm, like, oh, I've never met anybody else who has heard of the Beatles. And I thought it was sarcasm, but then as you go along, oh no, they were legit. So that kind of annoyed me. It is somewhat uncommon to be a diehard fan of them nowadays, since they are an older band. And then the constant knowing, loving the show Lost, which I'm not a huge fan of that show, so I didn't really relate to the characters in that way. But it's just weird because it's actually kind of like Again But Better Again, two agains, because it sets it up like it's just, a YA contemporary, and that Shane is going to college and studying abroad, and this is her chance to redo it and be more of a fun student rather than what is her life, because she's studying to be a doctor, but she doesn't really want to. She wants to do writing. She fakes this pre-med thing to go to the school for that, and tricks her parents into it. And by the way, hated her parents. Like, I cannot even, if she pulled this from real life experience, because she did study abroad. The character Shane is very much Christine. I don't know if this is a true adaptation of her parents, but they are awful. Her dad is terrible and like verbally abusive. He calls her a shit. And when he finds out about everything, I get he's mad, but holy crap, he cuts her off. And I just don't understand parents like that. The weird thing about this, so she's kind of like falling in love with this other guy, and he has a girlfriend she discovers later, and that's like scandal. But they never do anything together. He doesn't actually cheat on his girlfriend or anything with her. He just starts to have some feelings, but it doesn't matter because she goes home and gives up on everything and regrets it and la la la. And then so many years later, she's dating some other boring guy. She's a doctor. She reconnects with Pilot. He's married to, or he married or engaged to the girlfriend that he was with, even though he's unhappy. And the two of them get a second chance, and they go into an elevator and time warp. They go back to the school. It's back in, 2007 or something, I'm not sure. But they're doing it again, and they both remember their lives to fix it, and they'll obviously freak the hell out about it all. They get to redo everything, including their internships and stuff, and she gets to retry being a writer and doing all this other stuff. So it's nice. And then they have the option to go back. Drama ensues and all that jazz. So I don't know, I didn't hate how it ended. Just, I don't know if I liked the entire journey. We're gonna do number 2. The next book I read was Into the Dim by Janet B. Taylor. Historical fiction and sci-fi, because it's got time travel. More time travel-y books, apparently. It deals with a girl who has an eidetic memory and is awkward and was homeschooled by her mom, who they think died, or she thinks died, in an earthquake. But lo and behold, it's not, because she's a time travel person. time traveler. That's the word for it, right? And now she has to go into the past and find her mom. I didn't enjoy this so much because it's supposed to, you know, show this part of history. And granted, this is a part of history I don't really know very well. So there's a line that everybody comments on about the these and thous just dropping off her tongue. Like, honey, this is like the 1100s. These and thous was not part of that language then. Her mom taught her archaic languages and stuff. She was training her basically to do this. But lo and behold, twist, that's not her mom. I don't want to reveal the big twist because the twist was pretty good, although you figure it out pretty easily, I think. It's not a difficult twist to figure out once you start reading it. But it was just kind of a mediocre book. There is a sequel, but I don't really have any desire to read said sequel, so I'll never know. But if you want to read it and then tell me what happens, feel free. Next book I read was Sadie by Courtney Summers. I've heard about this book forever, and like it's so popular, and I was wondering, what is it all about, you know? And they say to read it with the audiobook because it's half of it is a podcast. I don't know if it was better. No, I lie, it is better. It is audiobook because Sadie, her character, has a stutter, and it's easier to really see the frustration and personality behind her, you know, and how she reacts, her inner thoughts to how people react to her having a stutter. Although I don't know how, it doesn't sound like a podcast to me at all. And also, it's a full cast. It kind of sounds like they got a bunch of different people from all around the world to record because all the sound is different. Even when the interviewer, the guy who runs the podcast, is with other people, the background noises of the other people don't fade into his background noises because he just always sounds like a professional podcaster, whereas the people he talks to always have background noise and it's different. So it's weird. It was one thing that kind of threw me off audio-wise, but it was such a crazy good story, and but I hated how it ended. I hated we don't get to know. I mean, we get to insinuate, and that sucks because I don't like how it ends. It is a crazy freaking journey. I do highly recommend everybody to read this book. It is very good. Check it out. I feel bad. I feel like I haven't really done much good progress on this for you guys. I was not anticipating what this is, so this will definitely have to continue on because we are very close. I only got 4 more books to talk about, and this is how far I've made it. It'll be a continuing theme in videos to come. Unless you all hate this and do not want me to film any more of this, let me know in the comments. But the next book is another audiobook, is The Mayor of Thieves by Cherie Dimaline, and this is a native story. It's a futuristic world where Native Americans are the only ones left who can dream. So the government, oh, I just found a 2. Hold on. Let me fix it. The government is trying to round them all up basically and manufacture them and basically steal them. It's in the marrow of their bones, hence Mayor of Thieves. And our main character has lost his whole family to this thing, but he finds a group of other Native Americans that are going north, trying to get out and away from the recruiters who are the evil dudes kidnapping everyone and murdering them basically for their dream. It's good because it reminds you about what Native Americans already went through with assimilation problems that the lovely US did to them, putting them in the schools and forcing them to give up their, you know, culture basically. It's a new way of doing it while still showing you and remembering the truth and the facts of what happened in the past, because it's not something that's really touched on in schools. It was good. It lost my attention a couple times. It changes character perspectives a bit in different chapters, and the titles of the chapter don't really tell you who it is. So sometimes, because everybody will talk about their own story of arriving at this camp, and I would get lost trying to figure out who was talking. It was really good. It did have a little bit of romance in it. It had a lot of good history points, a lot of interesting different characters. It had some severe tragedy that I was almost bawling at, but I'm a horrible unfeeling person, so I don't really cry with books. But this one had me. This was actually what I was listening to while I was cutting wood and sanding the wood down for my bookshelf, so not a good time to be emotional. This looks like nothing, right? It looks like nothing. Next book. Then we finally get to Princess in Love, the third book in the Princess Diaries, also narrated again by Anne Hathaway. It was okay, yet again. But the thing is, she has a boyfriend that she doesn't actually love. And so she continues to date him because the guy, Michael Moskovitz, who she actually has a crush on, might have a girlfriend that's super smart and awesome and not her. So she has to deal with Kenny, who's nice, but is not her one true love, you 14-year-old. That's what really killed me. Like, if I had read this when I was 14, I would have been like, yes, he's your one true love. But I'm not 14 anymore, and I'm like, girl, you only 14, chill out. Same with Grandma, chill out. When we get our resolution of Michael and Mia actually getting together, because that's not really a spoiler. Most of y'all saw the movies, right? It just kind of ends really quick. So, and it's weird because she's 14, 15. She's a freshman in high school. He's a senior, all right? He's about to go to college. What? That's such, and now it's illegal, okay? That's illegal for you guys to be dating. I'm sure when they're both older, it's not a huge difference, but it is in high school because of maturity. Next one is The Loneliest Girl in the Universe by Lauren James, and I loved this one. Another sci-fi. It was a little mix again of transcripts and not video feeds or anything like that, but emails. So this is about a girl who was born on this ship that's trying to find a new planet for Earth to go to. She's the only one left. The rest of the whole crew is dead. Her parents are dead. She's been captaining this ship on her own since she was a kid now. They tell her that there is another ship in pursuit of her now, and it's going faster because it's got better technology, but there's all these huge gaps in time. And they're like, you're gonna be able to talk to this other ship soon. And it's cool because the other ship has this boy on it for her. And so she gets really excited because she writes fan fiction. So she's a little bit obsessed with the idea of love and stuff like that because she watches the TV show that she loves a lot and writes a fan fiction for. She gets to talk to the guy, but then all of a sudden there's no communication from Earth because there was a war on Earth, and it's like United Republic or something like that, and it's run by a king now, and they're controlling everything, but she's super wary about it, and so many plot twists happen with the guy she's talking to, with communications, with her own ship, with her backstory of how the astronauts died, and it's a wild ride, guys. It starts out looking like it's just a cute little, like a YA, not a contemporary, but sci-fi. Like if contemporary could be in sci-fi, that's what it would be. I loved it. So you should read it. Oh, this is why doing this is a bad idea, because of my neck. And the last book. I did read Princess in Waiting this month, and we're gonna pause on this because that last neck crack really told me. Princess in Waiting now has a different narrator, and I didn't like it because she sounded even more immature and childish, and for her to now have this relationship with Michael, a senior, really irked me the wrong way. and the way that grandma was trying to set her up with a super pervy other dude, it rang all kinds of red flags for me. So I really actually hated this one and made me go, I'm not finishing the Princess Diaries. We're not doing this. I'm gonna just live with my movies, and that's what I'm gonna live with this story. I'm sorry. I lost it with this book. She's in Genovia. It's not like they're together and like making out or anything, but the only thing that Mia is talking about is her love for Michael. And she honestly sounds like she has braces in the whole time, which is why it's such an irking thing, because it made her so much younger, and she talked so much younger, which was more realistic for her character being that age, but not for what she's going through, and not for the relationship that she's having. I know in the whole series that Michael is the guy that she's with the whole time, and it just, the only couple in the world, there are two couples in literature / TV that I believe as having met as children, growing up together and falling in love. And that is Anne and Gilbert and Corey and Topanga. Otherwise, I don't buy it. There hasn't been another convincing one for me other than those two. So that's my hot take on the Princess Diaries. That is all the books that I have read in August. I have been reading books in September. Lots of stuff is going on, and I'm trying to finish writing so we can prepare for NaNoWriMo to do more writing. I can't believe that I've been doing this for like 4 hours, and this is as far as I've gotten. Send help. I did say on my Facebook that I would hold another competition, another thing. So, another quiz, another chance to win copies of my books, and hopefully you read them and like them. We're gonna do one that I don't even know the answer to. We're gonna do the amount of time it takes me to finish this painting. Put it in the comments below. I won't have a full deadline yet for it, because chances are in the next video I will be doing this, but put down how many hours you think this is going to take, and the winner closest to it, we'll actually have a winner, closest person to it will win copies of my books, unless you've already owned my books and you want something else, then we can communicate. But yes,
It looks nice.
put your guesses in the comments below of how long you think it'll take me to finish this monstrosity, and see if you can win copies of my books or other things. I will see you next time, cuties, with a sore neck. Bye!
Stop right now, thank you very much. I need some loving from a human touch. Hey you, always on the run, gotta slow it down, honey, gotta have some fun. Do 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 do.